High above the blue waters of Seneca Lake, where wine country meets raw horsepower, sits one of America's most legendary racetracks. This is Watkins Glen, a cathedral of speed, a cornerstone of road racing history. From the days of open-wheel icons to the thunder of muscle cars, Watkins Glen has hosted the brave, the bold, and the unforgettable. And today, the tradition continues with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. 12 corners, endless elevation, and every twist and turn, just like this season, is unpredictable. The TA and TA2 classes arrive with storylines that swerve, tight battles, surging rookies, and seasoned champions who know this place shows no mercy. This is where legacies are tested and where the next chapter begins. Welcome to the Trans Am Racing Series presented by Pirelli. High in the hills above Seneca Lake sits a 3+ mile serpent sprawled out through the rolling countryside. Like a siren of speed, she will tease and tempt a driver. Are you feeling brave? Can you hold the throttle open a little longer? Maybe brake a little later. If you succumb to her temptations, you will become a footnote in the history of this legendary circuit. Win here, and you could become a living legend whose name will forever be whispered through the trees around this famed American speed palace known as Watkins Glen International. Hi everybody, welcome to the Glen. Ralph Sheheen and the man who sits second in the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, Adam Andretti. But today, it's Cube 3 Architecture TA2 racing here at the Glen, and I know you love this series.
I love this series. It's packed full of talent. It's packed full of great race teams and great race cars. The preparation of these things are second to none, and they always, they never disappoint, do they, Ralph?
No.
They always bring us great racing and great action.
And they're bringing us a lot of great talent, one of whom is McKee, who's got his first pole here today.
Yeah, and I mean, that's shocking. It's his first pole. The way the streak.
But he's only had like 10 races.
He's only had 10 races, but it's still like, I mean, his speed is so raw and so genuine. So I'm happy to see him, complete that part of his Trans Am, bookings to get this pole position. He's already proven to be a race winner. He's a championship leader. They're chasing after this young man, and SLR is riding some momentum as well.
He might be the next name that just whispers through the trees around here at the Glen. There's a good look at the legendary facility from high above in our drone. They've been racing here for decades. Let's take you back and show you a little of the history of the Glen. High above the blue waters of Seneca Lake, where wine country meets raw horsepower, sits one of America's most legendary racetracks. This is Watkins Glen, a cathedral of speed, a cornerstone of road racing history. From the days of open-wheel icons to the thunder of muscle cars, Watkins Glen has hosted the brave. Nestled in the heart of New York's Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen International isn't just a racetrack. It's a proving ground, a temple of speed, and a cornerstone of American motorsport. It all started in 1948, not with a track, but with public roads, sports cars roaring through the village streets. After too many harrowing incidents on the public roads, the decision was made to build a permanent road course in the hills above Seneca Lake. In 1956, Watkins Glen International was born. Since then, almost every major sanctioning body has tested its driver's mettle on the upstate New York circuit, including Formula One, IMSA, and of course, NASCAR. By the mid-60s, as the Trans Am Series thundered to life, Watkins Glen answered the call, offering up its twists and elevation as a battleground for pony cars and legends. From the golden age of American iron to the cutting-edge machines of today, the Glen has hosted it all. From wild side-by-side sprints to championship-deciding duels. It's a place where history clings to the guardrails. and the echoes of V8s from every era still hang in the trees. Year after year, the Trans Am Series returns to Watkins Glen, not just to race, but to write the next chapter in a story 75 years in the making. Watkins Glen International, the past, the present, and the pulse of Trans Am racing. Adam, I don't think it's a huge stretch to say that Watkins Glen, when it comes to history, is kind of like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway of road courses in this country. There's so much history here.
Oh, and I think that's a great way to describe it. And you see how it's evolved over time. I love those old shots where even before guardrail was put up, this infamous beautiful blue guardrail all around this facility. And so, absolutely. And the ghosts whisper to you at this place, no different than they whisper to you at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. When it's quiet here at night, the track lights are on, and that's all that's going on, you know that a lot of history has been made around this.
Yeah, all the big names from all around the world have raced here, and they're legendary, and we're going to make another legend here this afternoon. So glad to have you with us here live on Speed Sport 1 as we get ready for the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli. We'll be getting underway with track walk, fan walk, and opening ceremonies right after this.
Up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Welcome back here to Watkins Glen International. Good look at the cars all lined up in the false grid. As you're taking a look at that, Adam, what's going through your mind at this stage of the day as a driver?
You know, it's another warm day. You know, we've gone through this wave of, you know, being cool at the beginning of the season. Now we've hit some hot races. So you're just really focused on staying cool. So maybe fill up your cool suit with some cold water. You're getting yourself focused. You're getting your mind in the game and kind of. The thing is, all the best laid plans go to waste once that green flag drops. So you start talking plans, and I think it's just for your own entertainment to make the time pass by. But right now, it's a great time that they're getting to spend with the fans here on this fan walk and just get themselves nice and focused, talk to each other as drivers, maybe make a couple deals, like I said, that'll fall apart here pretty soon.
Well, unfortunately, our good buddy Ben Sissel couldn't be here with us this weekend. Hope to have Ben back very, very soon. And in his place is our other good buddy, Eddie Fuhrer, who's down there in the fan walk.
And we are here for the TA2 Cube 3 Architecture Series race, and we have a fantastic grid of just over 20 cars here. Maciej Tunasevich on the back row with Brandon Hampson right here. He's a New York native, Hampson, stepping in. And in front on the next row is Tom Sheehan, doing good at Laguna Seca, looking for another strong result here. Bob Picardo's been racing from the grassroots level up for over 20 years, and he is in that next car. Doug Winston has a bit of a connection to the Finger Lakes region, a amateur winemaker. We're in wine country here in upstate New York. Doug Winston, he had his best TA2 result at this track in 2023. Cale Phillips right in front into 99. And then into 60, we have Boris Said here for the second week in a row, stepping in for his son. Boris, looking forward to this race today.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I got a long way to go, nowhere but up. But it's Rick Hendrick's birthday today, so I should say happy birthday to the boss. He's been my partner for 14 years at BMW Murrieta and Volkswagen Murrieta, and hopefully my son won't yell at me too hard after because I wasn't fast enough. But I'm going to have a good time racing with these kids, and hopefully we get a good finish.
All right, thank you, Boris. Moving continuously up the grid, Will Robinson. He is in the 51, standing here next. Will, you looking forward to this race?
I am super excited for this race. I love Watkins Glen. It's a great track. I've only ever raced it in Mazdas, so it's a big change of pace for this car, but I'm super excited for it, and I just love driving it. Hopefully we can do well in the race, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Will. Best of luck today. Seamus McKendry stepping up next in the 20. He will be starting right behind Eric Caton in the 71. He had his last top 10 here at Watkins Glen. Jared Odrick in the 00, the former NFL first-round draft pick in the 00 car here. And next, Roberto Sabato in the 61. Keith Prochek up here in the 9 ran well in practice and is going to be starting right up here around the edge of the top 10. Starting up next, 95 of Gian Buffamonte. Are you looking forward to this race out here? What's exciting you about Watkins Glen?
I'm really excited. I mean, I've never been here before, so I'm just excited to just experience the race here. I think it's going to be a pretty wild one, so I'm really excited for it. It's going to be good.
All right, thank you, Gian. Moving forward, Julian DaCosta here in the number 30, sitting 5th in the championship points going into this race. Adrian Lostovsky had a stronger result last time out at Road America, sitting right behind Sam Corry in the 70. He's making his transition this season into Trans Am. Wasn't open wheel racing last year. Corry in that number 70. Tyler Casera in that number 10. If you remember back to Sonoma, Brent Cruz won at Sonoma in that number 10 car. It will be piloted today by Tyler Casera. Tars Annunziata sitting right in front of him. He raced in Chicago in the Xfinity Series, picked up a top 20 finish there. He came from the back at Road America. He'll be starting much closer to the front. And here at the front of the Pro-Am grid, 4th overall, Barry Bowes. What a great qualifying result. And I understand you have some family with you here today.
I do have some family here with me today. Love the M1 team, Team SLR. That's a fantastic car, fantastic chassis. It's a great team. We've all driven to the front here, as you can see, together. It feels wonderful. I've got my nephews here with me, Camden Bowes, my brother's son, Dalton Bowes, my passed away sister's son, and Camden here has got a little something to say while we're here today.
Will you marry me?
Oh my gosh, yes!
Oh, shoot.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Barry, just how happy are you for the family?
I am so happy for the family. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be there with them. I'm happy to share that special moment with them. And I look forward to a fantastic race.
Thank you so much, Barry. What an awesome moment to catch on camera. Barry Bowes' relative proposing to his now fiance as we are up to the top 3 on the grid. Carson Brown in that number 8. He is starting in the 3rd position. And then we make it to our front row. Coming from Australia, one of his strongest qualifying results in TA2, Nathan Hearn. Nathan, just how are you feeling going into this race?
Not really good, actually. So, I mean, our racing and fast order have prepped a really good Toyota Camry for us. And yeah, look, we made some really big gains in qualifying. I haven't been too comfortable all weekend in practice, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, as it always goes, just keep chipping away at it. And yeah, we've made some good changes for hopefully the race. And yeah, we'll see if we can catch up to Tristan.
All right. Thank you so much, Nathan. Best of luck today. And only one car in front of him on the grid. It is the championship leader. He enters with a 34-point cushion in the championship standings. Tristan McKee on pole in the TA2 Series. If I'm correct, it's your first time up here on pole.
Yeah, that's correct. First pole for me. Been close, but first one.
And how excited are you to be leading this field of green and to be racing here at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, it definitely feels good. This track's a lot of fun. It's probably one of my favorites that I've been to so far. It's more fits my driving style, so I'm having a lot of fun. You know, it feels really good to lead the field of green, and hopefully we can keep it there all race.
And McKee on pole. He is the championship leader. Sending it back to you, Ralph.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much. Congratulations to the happy couple.
Yeah. I mean, how about that? That's etched in history right here on television. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's awesome. Congratulations.
All the best to them. I hope they have as good a happy married life as you do with Tabitha and I do with Kimberly.
100%.
Right?
100%. They'll have a wonderful life if that's the
That'll
case.
get us good husband points. Well, Sam Corry is another one of the young, bright talents in this series. He was the winner earlier this year in the weather-challenged race at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. And he's another one right near the front of the grid here today at Watkins Glen. I had a chance to sit down with Sam and talk to him a little bit about his career.
What's up, guys? It's Sam Corry here. We're here at Watkins Glen having some fun. It's really cool. I've never been here before. It's just my first time here. Obviously, rolling off. We're decently quick, so we got to find some pace, but it's all good. It's a driver's track for sure. There's high commitment zones. You know, it's a high commitment track. So, you know, it's got a lot of grip. You know, it really likes when you're highly committed through the bus stop and getting through there and using the curbs. And, you know, it's one of those tracks that you really just go all out and you really drive the crap out of these cars. And that's what's fun. It's just ragging these cars to the edge. So, but yeah, it's a really cool place. Ooh, favorite corner. The boot's fun. And, you know, going up that hill because you can brake super late going into the heel of the boot. You brake super, super late, and you rip your downshifts, and then you can really crack power early because you're going uphill, so it slows you down, but it's super fun. I mean, the bus stop's fun because your minimum speed's 100 miles an hour. You know, you're going fast. You're jumping curbs. You know, it's just you're ragging it. So it's a really cool place. So it's funny, you know, I grew up kart racing, and I raced against Nitro, and we were against each other. We were rivals. And walking into the shop when I first signed with these guys, it's like, man, I never thought I'd ever be putting on a Nitro Motorsports T-shirt. But here we are. You know, they're a great group of guys, a great team. I mean, they do a top job. They work harder than anybody I know. You know, my guys, Mark and Petey, Bird at home. I know you're not here this weekend. He got hurt, but, you know, they're still here working after the day's been over for a couple hours now. So, and they're going to be here, you know, working all night. So, you know, this is where it really starts. I just get to drive it. You know, I get to have the fun and go out there and drive the car. But these guys put in the hardest work, and they work as a team. They work together, and that's really where it starts is me and my crew chief, Mark Durgan. We call him Doc. Me and Doc, you know, being able to come together and work on our race car and just get faster. Having that communication is key. But, yeah, these guys work harder than anybody I know. These gnats are going to kill me, though. Yeah, it's difficult because, well, one thing it's good because we have great data, right? We can look at each other's data. We can get faster. That's how we can beat some of these other teams, and we can help each other get quicker. You know, it's also difficult when you're racing against each other for the win. You don't really think about, oh, well, he's my teammate. I can't do this or that. You're just going for it. So, you know, there's that level of understanding that, okay, he's my teammate. Not going to do anything stupid here. But also at the same time, it's the gloves are off and you're going for it. So being able to balance that is good, but also it's helpful when you're struggling because you can look at each other's data, you can go through that, go through their video, and you can help each other out at the same time. So your teammates off the track and friends, it's all good. You're smiling at each other, but when that visor goes down, it's every man for himself. Yeah, so, you know, with these things, we have a love-hate relationship, right? You know, you're driving the crap out of them. You're using every inch of the racetrack. You're just going for it. And, you know, we got to take care of it. We're a 100-mile race. it's a long race. You got to take care of the tires. You know, there's a little bit of fall off. You know, especially if you're sliding them around and you're making them mad. You got to take care of them a little bit. But at the same time, you're 10-10s. You're going for it. You're driving hard. You're trying to win. You know, the thing about these race cars is they like to be driven hard. There's no, I'm going to baby it through here and save that. There's no saving. It's go, 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 go. So, you know, I'm fortunate that I live 25 minutes from the shop, so I can go up there with the guys and, you know, build that morale and kind of work with everybody. And, you know, I don't know about these as much as some of these guys do. I come from totally different kinds of racing, but, you know, especially being able to go to the shop and I can learn more about the race car, how everything works, how it's put together, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just we drive the crap out of them, but especially when we win, it's always a good thing. Yeah, so I started, you know, on the IndyCar path. I did USF Pro Championships, did USF Juniors, USF 2000 for 2 years. Dang near won the championship last year. You know, so coming from that kind of world, you know, you come over here and, you know, I come to join these guys. I mean, Nick Tucker has it all, right? You know, he's got the ARCA team, he's got all this stuff, and the opportunity is there, and the opportunity in NASCAR. So, you know, in IndyCar, there's not seats. You know, you don't find the seats, where in NASCAR you do, and the opportunity is here. You know, it starts in Trans Am, and you kind of can build your way up, and there's still the manufacturer presence like Toyota. You know, I mean, these guys have helped so much, especially with this new body and what they're doing with the team. So, you know, you have that manufacturer presence to help as well. So I'm looking forward to just keep progressing up through the ranks and doing that kind of stuff. But, you know, it all starts here.
Sam Corry will start 7th here today, and as he gets ready to get the race underway, we need to take care of some more opening ceremonies. So back down to Eddie.
Welcome, Bill Knox.
If you'll join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, Father, we give you all the praise for this beautiful day that you have provided for us, and the fact that we get to be at this storied facility, Father, doing what we truly love. Now, Father, we ask that you wrap your almighty hands around this facility, Father, that you keep everybody here, keep them safe, the drivers, the crews, the officials, the spectators, EMS, the track and corner workers, Father, because they all, as everyone, wants to go home to their family this afternoon. And Father, we ask for a special blessing to be upon our military that keep us safe. In your Son's most truly honored, holy, and precious name we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, thank you for that great performance. We get one step closer to firing up these engines and getting the race underway. Adam, you've spent time in the TA2 cars as well as the big TA cars. How differently do they drive?
kind of night and day different. I tease around a little bit that a TA2 car, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 car is a lot. It's like a 550 horsepower Miata or MX-5 Cup car. It's a momentum car, you know, but you have horsepower. Where a TA car, just a lot of brute horsepower, a lot more grip. These things will, you know, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 cars slide around a lot more, as you can see here, than a TA car. We have a lot more aero. It's just this is again a perfect breeding ground for the development series for young drivers coming up, learning and just learning how these big cars roll and these big cars move and how the air moves them around and all those things. So yeah, this is why it's such a great breeding ground for this young talent that we see coming through.
All right, the president of the Trans Am Series, Andy Lally, took a look to help explain a little bit more about the Q3 Architecture TA2 Series cars.
The Trans Am Series is all about high horsepower and a big focus on the cars. The TA2 Series is driver development. We get a huge car count, we get great battles on track. And with me right now is Tristan McKee. He's a Chevrolet development driver, and he's going to help tell me and you guys about what we do to make these TA2 cars fast and how you go about winning races here.
So yeah, we really have to be perfect with everything. You know, the competition is super stiff around here. So we really have to have all our cambers, air pressures, and everything right with our Pirelli P0s. You know, they're great tires, super reliable, super consistent throughout the race. We also have to make sure our balance is correct throughout the race, aero balance, mechanical grip, stuff like that, because race pace is super important. Sometimes we have long races with long runs, and sometimes we have caution-filled races like Sebring.
So you're playing with shocks, springs, you're adjusting rear wings, so that, and your thought is, maybe this is going to be a short run race with a lot of yellows, so I've got to be able to fire off really good, or man, maybe this is a race every year that doesn't have a lot of yellow, so I've got to have my rear tires still hooked up at the end of this race so I can come through these guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. We missed it a little bit at Sebring. You know, we were expecting some long runs, so we had a little bit of a long run setup, and we just missed it because there was a lot of caution.
Let's make and another one around the 61.
Our TA2 cars are over 500 horsepower, a little over 2,800 pounds, and so as a development driver and you're coming up through the ranks, being able to just rake, tow, Ackerman, all sorts of things on this. This is the full package, so I imagine you're working with engineers and learning as much as you can from them, right?
Yeah, I've learned a lot driving these cars. You know, I come from circle track world, so this is very different from what I'm used to. I'm really enjoying it.
So the difference from running the circle track cars to running the road course stuff, what has been your biggest thing that you've been learning with your driving style?
I've had to work on myself a lot because usually the driver's fine, it's more the car, so I've had to, you know, redo all of my braking techniques because it's all different for this style of racing. So I've learned a lot doing this, and I think it's helped me a lot in the oval role, so I think it's really cool.
Awesome. Well,
thank you.
Good to see you, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Tristan became the second youngest winner in the history of the Trans Am Series at just a tick over 14 years of age. A couple of weeks ago in Mid-Ohio, gets his first pole here this weekend in Watkins Glen, and he sits atop of the points. But look how close the battle is between him and Thomas and Inziata, and they're going to both be starting right up at the front of the field here.
Yeah, I talked to Thomas here not too long ago, and he feels good about his race car. They're lacking a little bit of speed, a little bit of pace. He feels like Tristan, and then we've all seen it all weekend long, that Tristan's going to be the man to beat tonight, and that's kind of bad news for anyone trailing the points because of that. He's on a roll now. He's feeling very confident. And talking to Scott Lagacy as well, the kid's putting in the work. He is putting in the absolute work, the note-taking, the data, the deep dive into data. So it's not by accident that Tristan's up there.
And then in the Pro-Am category, you got Barry Bowes at the top and Jared right behind him and Chuck after that. All right, well, let's head back down trackside. Here's Eddie one more time.
And now to give the command, please welcome our friends from Make-A-Wish. What are your guys' names?
Anthony, he's a Make-A-Wish.
Anthony? All right, thank you.
One Adam and I to Phil.
And now, to give the start command, please welcome our friend from Make-A-Wish, Anthony.
Gentlemen, start or drivers, start your engines. It worked. It worked. Did it? Yeah, it worked. In the car.
Great job, Anthony.
I love that. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Anthony, it worked like a charm. You did a great job.
It worked like a charm. I had a chance to meet Anthony earlier today. He's a sharp young guy. He's having a ball here with his buddies and his family, getting excited about the races.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing Bob Accardo's been doing this year with Make-A-Wish Foundation. Started last year, and it's just a fantastic addition to the paddock.
And you know what's really cool is it's spilling out amongst the entire team because he's over there with Adrian Vostovsky and some of the others. And Adrian, while we were standing there talking, Anthony comes walking and goes, "Hey, I want everybody from Make-A-Wish signing my car. It brings me luck, so you need to come over." So Anthony gets dragged over to sign the car. It's just really cool how the entire paddock has gotten around these youngsters.
And that's what Trans Am's all about.
That's right. Tristan McKee is going to be the first one off the pulse grid as he is the pole winner, his first ever pole coming here this weekend in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. But Sam Corry might have something for him. We'll find out when we come back to the Glen on Speed Sport 1.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speed.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Said. One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out. Miller, look out.
And we are back here at the Glen, Watkins Glen International, as the cars continue their pace laps behind the pace car here. And let's take a look at this very unique track map that makes up Watkins Glen. All right, Adam, take us for a ride.
You know, this is we're one of the great tracks in our country. You're going to go down here into Mission Foods Turn 1. It's a downhill approach. You've got a good exit off of 11. You'll get a good run down into Turn 1, down and into second gear in most cars. And then you're going to accelerate full throttle up to the Optima batteries. S's, turns 2, 3, and 4. That's flat out. And everything I've ever driven here, I've never driven anything here that wasn't flat out all the way up the hill. Into the Cube 3 Architecture chicane. The bus stop as we know it, Tommy Kendall, we thank him for that one. He gave us that bus stop chicane. Into turn 5, we call it the carousel. And you get into the laces of the boot, turn 6. 7, the toe of the boot, uphill like we talked, like Sam Corry was talking about, up to turn 8. Turn 9, very tricky, exiting the boot. Into fast turn 10, a smooth turn 11, and you're back home going through the Summit Racing Equipment, turn 11.
And I think it's about 150 feet difference, if I'm not mistaken, from the start-finish line to the height of the backstretch.
I believe that all day long.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a climb, that's
There's
for sure.
a fair amount of elevation here that you can't really appreciate because television makes everything look flat.
Right.
But once you get here and you start driving around or walking around, you're like, man, there's some hills here.
No, there's no joke. I mean, it's you feel like you're climbing those S's forever, even in a TA car where you're flat out at 150 or 140, 150 miles an hour. It still feels like it's taking you forever to get up there.
Let's talk about turn one here a little bit. A lot of drivers, I was talking to Carson Brown, saying turn one is so tricky and challenging.
It is, and I tell you what we'll see here on the start of this, and you can imagine it's going to be spread. Everyone's going to spread like a fan to try and get to that inside run, try and do the dive bomb inside. We see it here almost every time because there's so much exit room on the exit of turn one that if it does go wrong, you can kind of give, you can give some freedom there and still get that run up the S's. But then it becomes tricky. If you run off in turn one and use up, there's no boundaries here. If you use up that exit space out there and no man's land in turn one, it's your responsibility to get back on that racetrack. No one has to give you a gift. So as that wall comes closer is when it really starts to get sketchy.
Yeah, and then you get over here into the S's and everything, and it gets very narrow. You're not going to be 2-3 wide through there.
No, and we've seen a lot of ping pong matches up to the S's over the years, haven't we? You know, when it goes wrong for the whole field if it happens in the S's. There's nowhere to go.
That being said, if you're in the top 5 down to Thomas and Nunziata, you're probably going to be okay finding a single file line going down into the S's. When you get deeper where Sam Corry is at and Adrian and Gian Buffamonte and further back, there's going to be a lot of guys still fighting to get single file by the time they get to the S's, and that's where the chaos could begin.
That's usually when it begins. You know, like this is another one of those practice. I mean, qualifying is always uber important, but this is one of those. It's not that it's super difficult to pass. Plenty of passing opportunities here, but it is that treacherous exit of one on the start and going up the hill through those S's. As you said, it starts off nice and wide, and then we get narrower and narrower and narrower. By the time we're starting to approach a bus stop, it's a pretty narrow racetrack.
Yeah. And it's just like coming out of the boot, you got guardrail on both sides of you there. It feels like you're driving through a tunnel.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get through the boot right here. So going through the toe of the boot right here. Again, this is old school racetrack, really tight, no room for error. But again, that's another trouble spot. People drop a wheel on exit there. It gets really, really greasy and slimy, and you can't get the power down, and people will use up all the track, drop that exit. Tires on the dirt on the exit, and then that can cross correct them into that inside guardrail. I've seen it here many, many times in these Q3 Architecture TA2 races.
So here's what we're talking about. As you're coming out of the boot, now you're heading over here to.
Yep, this is the heel of the boot that they just went through, and then this is the exit of the boot, the ankle, if you will. This is so tricky here. It's blind. It's a really, really late apex, and there's no room for error.
You can see how narrow it is through there.
Yeah, it can be. It could cause just some nasty chaos there as well. If you get a car that just doesn't want to turn, that's the place it'll tell you, because the wall's coming at you quick, fast, and in a hurry. Lights are off on the pace car.
Yep.
Tires
ready
are
to
warm.
go here.
They got 2 pace laps. It's important. Get these Pirelli P0s up to temperature.
It's going to make turn one really challenging because those tires are still coming up to speed and heat as we get ready for this one to get underway. Looking for the green flag right below us here in the tower. The Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli. Green here on Speed Sport 1. And McKee on the inside, bumping and banging back there in the row behind him. Tristan McKee will take the lead. Hearn will tuck in behind him. Barry Bose makes a great move. He's trying to get to third.
Nunziata, big move up to third already. Is that Nunziata, I believe, and is making the big moves right there, coming up to third place around Barry Bose. Nathan Hearn is not letting Tristan get away right off the bat here. Nathan felt really good.
That's what he's got to do, right?
Yeah, that's what he has to do, absolutely.
Got to hang with him. Look how they're all fanned out, headed down to the bus stop.
Yeah, that is Thomas right there in the P3 position. So great start by Thomas. He took a great advantage of the inside, laid on the brakes, got in front of his teammate there.
There's Carson Brown just in front of Corry, Sam Corry.
Barry Bose leading the Pro-Am and sitting in P4 all by himself.
Barry has just been on fire here this weekend, hasn't he? He has really come to grips with this racetrack beautifully.
One of his great tracks here in Mid-Ohio, a couple of places that are quite special to him and really suit his driving style quite well. He got a little bit beat up there on the start and walked around, but he's no worse for wear, and he's holding his own right there in P4. Then you got Adrian Vlastowski a little bit back there in a fight. Looked like in a fight for his life there, and coming through the toe of the boot here as the tire pressure coming up. And Annunziata already given hounding and filling the rear view mirror of Nathan Hearn.
Thomas, of course, embroiled in that points chase with Tristan McKee. They're 1 and 2 in the championship standings. So Thomas can't allow him to get away. He's got to get up there with him too.
Absolutely, and I mean Thomas was realistic. He didn't feel like their pace was right there, but
Tom Sheheen way
out there. John Buffamante way out there, using up the fact that there's no limits here. There's no track limits here other than you can't blow the bus stop and go straight. That's the only track limits that we've been given here, so you can use up all that without any penalty. But again, like I said, it is your responsibility that you need to find your way back onto the track safely. Tyler Casera got himself off to a good start here too in that 10 car, so really happy for him. He gets called up last minute to come do this race. This is the track where he had his coming out party. I believe it was like 2018, maybe 19, where he came with their house car out of him and his dad, and they won the thing. And we've had Tyler Casera in the paddock ever since, and he's just a great one to have around. A driver coach for Nitro, and Nitro car is doing really well. Thomas Annunziata, P3. Sam Corry, I believe, is in P6, so good cars. But Tristan McKee doing what Tristan McKee does. He's head down, clean racetrack, and just setting some lap times already.
Yeah, he's motoring along.
Yeah, I mean, his first lap was 1.5 seconds faster than Nathan Hearn. That's, when you're opening lap on low pressures and low, is like that, it's going to be a long day for everyone else. But at the same time, this is Q3 Architecture TA2 Series. Anything can happen. They're not bulletproof. Things can happen to them.
No.
And this track is hard on cars. You're launching them every lap. You're launching them 4 times over 4 curbs in the bus stop chicane alone at triple-digit speed. So anything can happen in this day.
You get up on the rumble strips here, maybe more than any other racetrack we go to, and it's not just in one section. It's everywhere. The
curbs are very friendly. You're right. We use them really everywhere. You'll see them get used up, and there's plenty of racetrack here to use. And Sam Corry was talking about that in his interview earlier in the broadcast. Is you're using every inch of this track. I loved his personality and the way he was explaining it, because it is so true. You're on the limit. You're ripping the gears, and you're just trying to get the absolute most out of this car, right?
Carson Brown in that 8 car currently running in 5th back with the series, not running every round, but every time he shows up, he's fast, and he's telling me this morning that he will be back to run more races with us this year before the season ends. Recently won an ASA stock car race in Madison, Wisconsin, so he's been doing a lot of time in ASA. He's running that series full time. He's also running dirt car late models, so he's very active in late model racing as well as TA2.
There's a battle here for 3rd place. Barry Bowes would love that overall podium. Thomas not going to be too easy to relinquish it, but that Nathan Hearn has separated himself from the threat of Thomas Annunziata, but I don't think he's closed the gap on Tristan at all, as the lap times are, again, like pretty much right on top of each other. Tristan was just a hair, about a quarter of a second faster than Nathan Hearn on that last lap. So it'll be interesting to see as the tires come in and as the rhythm happens, because we're off to a clean start, Ralph. I mean, this is a wonderful start for this series right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's more of Tristan, or I should say Thomas, slipping back to Barry than it is Barry gaining time on Thomas.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and it's showing that, showing us that on timing and scoring is showing just that. It's backing up exactly what we said. It looks like the 39 car, Make-A-Wish car of Bob Accardo is in the pits, for Bob Accardo fans out there and family and friends looking. I believe, look at Norm and Dave are getting up underneath the hood to see, but they're pinning it back down. So, but it looks like he'll go a lap down here, which is a shame for them. Makes for a long day.
Watching the field come across the start-finish line, headed down to turn number 1. There goes Bob down onto the racetrack.
And Adrian Vlastowski makes his way around Carson Brown in turn 1, makes a great pass around Carson into turn 1, and gains himself another spot. That's another one I'm looking out for today. This is kind of a home race for Adrian. He is a New York native, New York City, but you know, he is a New York native, and spent a lot of time up here at Watkins Glen International.
Now let's talk a little bit about these curbs here through the bus stop. When you talk to the drivers, they'll tell you some of them are lower, some of them are much taller, the turtles. And they say the turtles can really be a challenge.
Yeah, if you hit them wrong. If you hit them wrong, it'll really throw the car. So you have to be square, ideally straddle where you can, but be square, be straight with the car, and you can actually make them kind of smooth. You know, honestly, and you know, for me, I get tucked right up against the wall on the inside. Look at Tyler Casera around the outside, toe the boot on the youngster, Sam Corry. This is coach on student right here, and we'll see what the student has to say about that, as Tyler looks like he's going to try and clear him.
Yeah, the drag race is on.
Yeah,
got him.
Great job. What a great pass. I mean, that is a legendary pass around the outside by Tyler Casera. Right there at the heel, at the toe of the boot. What a great job.
Oh,
no,
Boris said.
So this is on the entry of the boot.
Yeah. Now bring out a full course caution.
Yeah. So we got ourselves full course.
First one of the day. Boris was running in 16th, chasing Will Robinson.
Well, he's worried about Junior being upset if he wasn't fast enough. He's going to be upset that he wrecked his car.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. No, that's an easy thing to happen there, and it could be a multitude of things. Just a racing deal, getting caught up on something, you know, a battle with, and he's out of the car, and that thing is smashed up more than I thought so. The other camera angle just really didn't give it to us, but man, that was a pretty good. Glad to see Boris okay. That's the most important thing, and he could care less about himself right now. I promise you, he's just looking at a race car like, what just happened here? So.
Well, that wasn't the birthday gift he wanted to give to Mr. Hendrick. So.
No,
Happy
it
birthday,
wasn't.
Mr. H.
No, but again, Boris is okay, and that's the most important part. But the safety crew here, second to none. Then get to him, get this cleaned up. This could take a minute. That tire wall's tire wall's kind of a mess there.
Yeah, and you got to get that all back right.
Yeah, you do.
Boris told me earlier today this is it. His kid will be back in the car from the next race on. So.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, he's back from Europe and ready to go. All right, so our first break here in the action. Drivers will get lined up. They'll get that tire wall straightened out. Boris's car out of there, and we'll be ready to go back to green. Stay with us right here for more live coverage. TA2 from the Glen on Speed Sport 1.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Still getting Boris Sed's car out of the impact zone there. the entrance into the boot.
Yeah, it's tricky there at the laces of the boot. It could suck you in, but also the racing gets really tricky down there too, because you get a run on somebody at the carousel, really get to the inside and feel like you got the inside move, and they don't see you. They're not prepared for that move. So I can only speculate here, as I've not seen a replay or any kind of footage from it. Maybe we can chase down Boris and get a word from him to find out what happened. But that car's not looking great, unfortunately. But the HendricksCar.com is it's a beautiful looking car, the livery and everything. And I'm sure Nitro will have that ready in time for the next event for Junior to come back. But you're carrying a lot of speed into that area, so there aren't really light crashes into the laces of the boot. I've seen hung throttles down into there and some really nasty stuff. But like I said, and I'll reiterate, happy to see Boris up walking around and having a conversation with the safety crew, and I'm sure he's no worse for wear.
Let's take a look at the schedule coming up. Handful of races yet to go of the National Championship. We're going to continue north outside of Toronto, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Then we come back down here to the States, finishing off at Virginia International Raceway, Barber Motorsports Park, and then Circuit of the Americas, where we'll crown champions. In the Western Championship, they're going to be racing at Portland International Raceway here in a couple of weeks. That'll be a doubleheader. Another doubleheader out of Thunder Hill in Northern California, and then Circuit of the Americas, they'll join us as we crown all the champions. First time we're going to Barber Motorsports Park with the Trans Am Series.
Very cool.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, very cool. Very. I mean, it's almost very similar to what you're dealing with here. High load track, a heavy commitment track, a lot of fun to drive. I can't wait to get there, honestly, with these cars, and a TA car is going to be pretty special, I feel.
But first, you got to go through Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and that's a beast of another kind too.
It is. As we lovingly know it as Mossport, but Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is again one of the legendary tracks here in North America. It's been unchanged over all these years, so it still has other than safety upgrades like they've done in Turn 2 and things like that, just to make it a safer place, right? And that's what we need to do in racing, is always strive to make this as safe as a sport as possible, and they've done a great job at the racetrack. Ron Fellows and group there has done an amazing job, and we can't wait to come. The Canadian fans are amazing. They show up in droves. They support us year-round. I mean, not just when we're up there at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Year-round, they're watching the broadcast here on Speed Sport 1.
Well, and that stop is a big part of the history of the Trans Am Series as well. So
very much so.
They
very,
love
very
it up there.
Just like here,
Yep.
been coming here all these years, 50 years here.
Lights off.
No different there. Lights off, and Tristan's got his gap. We'll see what this youngster was, a mastermind at restarts with great veterans behind him. Nathan Hearn, no slouch. He's got himself, he's going to get a good jump here. Excited to see this restart.
Nathan Hearn out of Lismore, New South Wales, Australia, sitting in second as we get ready to come back to green. Here we go. Green flag waving in the air.
Tristan got a great jump. It's going to be a good run down here. Annunciata is one of the last of the late breakers there. Gained a little bit of time on Nathan Hearn. Barry Bowes under attack.
Looks like everybody's going to get through one cleanly, and we speed off into the S's now, carrying as much speed as we can
Tyler
up the hill.
Casera around the outside. He has made the outside work everywhere that you wouldn't expect it to work at this racetrack. Outside of turn 2, up the S's. Tyler Casera goes around Barry Bowes, grabs that position. Barry goes on the defensive so that Adrian Vlastowski can't get in there. But this is great. Great racing on this restart. Tristan doing what Tristan does. Gained a gap pretty good right off the bat.
Yep. And it looks like Corry has fallen pretty far back, too. He's all the way back around 21st.
So he was having a lot of tire issues this weekend with tire delamination. So I don't know. I can only, again, speculate up here and say that maybe he's feeling something in the front or rear of that car that's not copacetic for him. But that's the only thing I can assume, because for him to drop back like that, it's not really indicative of his speed and abilities.
For sure.
But Jared Audrick, let's go ahead and throw a shout out to him into the top 10. You know, he's second in Pro-Am, into the top 10. This is how it seems to be in this Pro-Am class. Like, Barry seems to separate himself all the way through practice and qualifying sessions. And then come race time, the racecrafts come in, and these two tighten right up and end up having great battles throughout. So Jared making his way through there. Gian Buffamante in the top 10 again. He just keeps on methodically doing what that young teenager should be doing, learning every week and making steps forward, and he keeps on making steps forward week in and week out.
Watching Tristan McKee cross the line once again with 55 minutes left to go in this one. Top 5 all stays the same. Everybody's staying the same through the top 9. It looks like Odrick is dropping. Something is going on with Jared Odrick's car. He must be on pit road.
I'm going to guess maybe, but I don't see him down pit road here. But that's a shame. That's a shame. The only one we got on pit road is Jim Gallagher with some mechanical that we saw earlier. But I'm going to go on a limb here that Tyler Casera right now has a car. I think the one car out there that has something, car driver combo that has something for Tristan McKee and SLR. He has come through the pack from his qualifying position. He's cruised through this pack. Oh, Gian.
Gian Buffamante in the 95.
He didn't tuck the splitter, which is good. I mean, usually that's what happens. You tuck the splitter. He didn't wear anything out or get anything stuck in the grill. So other than some gravel around and upsetting maybe his competitors behind him,
yeah,
he's no worse for wear.
And his own nerves.
In his own nerves.
But that's exactly what can go wrong in the boot.
Yeah,
curb.
In the bus stop. Yeah,
stop.
It can. Like, you hit the curbs, you know, a quarter of an inch wrong, and it'll launch you in the wrong way. And I believe that's what we might have seen with Gian right there. But again, great job saving it. Great job keeping committed to it. But I'm looking at this 10 car. It is sitting pretty. It's doing a great job sitting.
Yep.
You know, it's square. It's not sliding around like some of the cars in front of Tyler right now. But you know, this driving coach for Nitro Motorsports is really showing these students how to get around here. Doing a great job, Tyler Casera.
Tyler Casera out of Manheim, Pennsylvania. And that Toyota Camry prepped by the folks in Nitro. Looks to be a player here today. As Barry Bowes tries to reel him in. Barry leading that Pro-Am Challenge division. Sabato moves to second. Prochuk to third in that class. In their battle within that championship.
Yeah, you see the two cars in front of Tyler, of Nathan Hearn and Thomas Luciata, moving around a lot more than Tyler's. They're having to really push their cars a lot more for this pace than Tyler has to, and Tristan.
Take me through the entrance into the bus stop, because here it comes. What am I looking at? What am I doing?
Super late on the brakes, down one gear, and then commitment in. Commitment in, back on throttle. Back on throttle to launch over these bumps. You're modulating the throttle through this part to the two lefts. Hammer down on the throttle here and approach to the carousel. Hard down on the brakes to get it slowed down to the apex, then back hard on the power right out of the carousel. I actually went and watched Cube 3 Architecture TA2 practice at the carousel. It's a lot of fun. You can see right in the cars and see how hard the drivers are working. And I could say, like, that 28 car out front, Tristan McKee, that thing was on a rail all day long that I saw yesterday. That kid was not putting the wheel wrong. He was holding a pretty steering wheel. And just like Scott Lagasse said, the young man's putting in the work, and none of this is by accident. He's up there because he's putting in that work.
On board, Adrian Vostovsky. As we keep an eye on Adrian, he right now running out of Maspeth, New York, in the CMI Spot On Services AMT Motorsports Ford Mustang.
That was the 90 of Annunziata off there at the booth.
Right there.
It looks like we have a mechanical, because he just came to a stop. That was super strange. But yeah, there seems to be a mechanical, a little bit of smoke coming out of the back of that thing. So I don't know if he's under his own power. It doesn't seem that way. It looks like he's looking down to work at the dash, play around with switches. Might add a fuse blow. But that puts Tyler Casera up into a podium position there.
Well, that's a huge blow to the championship.
It brings it wide open for Tristan for sure.
Boy, does it ever.
Yeah.
And Annunziata dropping immediately down.
Yep. We have 21 laps to go, though, so anything can happen as well, you know. And
well, he can't stay there forever either, right? That would be considered an impact zone.
It is a really bad place to be. You're right on the exit there of the, you know, the heel of the boot. that's again one of the no limits areas. That's one of the areas where you can use up all that racetrack you want to. Double yellows are out. There's our full course.
Full course caution. We talk about using up all the racetrack here. All those areas that are now paved at one point in time were all sand traps.
They were.
Especially down there in turn 1.
Yeah.
Big old sand trap down there, and now it's just all paved country out there that you can run incredibly wide on.
And honestly, the pavement, to me, having pavement there instead of gravel trap is safer, because you can lock down and you can get this car slow down and come to a stop, where sometimes the gravel, the cars will dig in and they'll roll over and do some kind of crazy stuff. And then you're spitting gravel all over the racetrack even as you're getting towed out. So I love this idea of the pavement. We've seen that more and more.
The only time you want that gravel is when you were Jimmy Johnson headed down into turn 1.
That was a different story.
In the Busch car, and it went head on. He needed that gravel to help slow him down a little bit.
And I wonder whatever happened to those foam blocks, because they did an amazing job.
They did. They're all up at Oswego.
Right? I'm telling you, because if you hit one of these tire walls with what Jimmy did, that was not going to be the same outcome.
No. Well, Thomas Annunziata having some mechanical problems. We'll try to get an update on that. But the Trans Am TA2 Series continues on Speed Sport 1.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds. The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Back here on Speed Sport 1, you see Thomas Annunziata's car on the back of the tow truck getting ready to be pulled out of the way. No word yet as to what happened to him. It was a drivetrain issue for Jared Odrick. That's what took him out of the event and really is going to hamper his title fight in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series.
Yeah, we have
presented by Pirelli.
Right, exactly. Unfortunately, we just lost both of the second place protagonists in both these national and pro-am championships. So, but again, a lot of racing left in this season. A lot of things can happen. So it's not over for them. But this certainly is a big hit. Especially these big TA2 fields, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 fields. It's even a bigger hit, right? As far as trying to recover from that. So. Obviously, Thomas, good friend. I wish him the best, and and his head is down. I mean, he not down in a bad way. He puts his head down. He'll put in the work, and he'll go on a streak here. You watch. He's not done, and he never gives up. So he'll be back at this.
Don't forget, coming up later today on Speed Sport 1, we will head over to Dorano Raceway in Hebron, Ohio, for IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series Top Fuel Finals. We will have it all live for you right here on Speed Sport 1. What a great day. You get TA2 live from Watkins Glen, and then we're going to give you some nitro a little later on from Ohio.
It's a great midsummer day on Speed Sport 1, and whether you like this the windiness of a road race here, you got the best that you can ever watch and keep the Architecture TA2 Series, or if you like that just absolutely raw, brute, throw you in the seat horsepower like the IHRA, you have that here on Speed Sport 1. So I think we're going back to green here, Ralph.
Yep, getting ready to go. Coming out onto the front straightaway. The lights are off in the pace car. It's already hit pit lane. And Tristan McKee's looking to pull the trigger. There he goes. Green flag and another good start.
Again,
and
Nathan,
watching Sam Corry from deep, just outside the top 10. Looks like he's making a move on the inside of turn 1 and might pick up another spot, and does.
Yeah, he got underneath his teammate, John Bucamonte there. Going to go up the hill. But, yeah, Sam has made a heck of a recovery. Was down to 21st after that last restart, so don't know if he had an issue during the restart or what the case may be. Like I said, speculated with the tires. But he's back, like the car's underneath him, and he's in the top 10.
Yeah, he's up to 8th now and charging forward. Here's McKee in that yellow, black, and white GameBridgeHendrickCars.com entry. You and I both spent some time separately chatting with Scott Lagacy over the day about this young man and what's making him so special. And we both heard the same thing: generational talent.
Generational talent, and but he knows he's got work ethic, which is not the norm for a 14-year-old. He's got the work ethic, and he puts in the work. He takes his notes. He walks the track at every opportunity that there's a track walk. He goes in the data. He does deep dives in the data to find what he can find and to make himself better. And I got a lot of respect for the young man and what he's doing here for sure.
One of the things Scott told me about the data is he'll go look at data of those. For example, at Road America, Mike Skeen was so incredibly quick.
Yeah.
Tristan would go and he'd take the data from Skeen and look at it and then immediately go out and figure out how to make the corners where Skeen was better for himself to see based off of what Skeen was doing. But as Scott pointed out, not every driver can do that. And he can also take his own data and figure out where he's wrong without even looking at anybody else's. He can just figure out what he's going to do differently.
That's more impressive to me.
Yeah.
That's more impressive to me. Is when you don't have to stack yourself on top of anyone else to see where you're losing or gaining on anybody, that's super impressive to me. So yeah, it's just added to another part of the young man's repertoire. I think he's just another on the list of amazing talent we've been watching come through our class of racing here to move up the ladder, and Tristan will be here as long as he wants to be here, but we don't plan on seeing him here for long. As Nathan feeling under pressure from Tyler Casera and goes defensive into the bus stop.
Yeah, and we were also watching a good battle there between McKendry in the 20 and Robinson in the 51 as they're squabbling over 10th. So great battles all the way throughout the field right now.
That's what Q3 Architecture TA2 is all about, is you will always be in a battle. Unless you're Tristan McKee, you will always be in a battle because he is checked out. This is Mid-Ohio all over again. But this race for second place is heating up. And Barry Bose is just back there licking his chops, like hoping to clean up the mess of parts afterwards.
And Carson Brown in that 8 trying to close in and give Barry some fits here.
He got the spot back for Adrian Vlastowski. Adrian had gotten that earlier in the race, and Carson has found himself back around Adrian. So great battle between those two.
Here we go.
Open door. Nathan opens the door.
Inside of Hearn, and he's got him.
That's the only invite Tyler Casera needed right there. So Tyler, I think Tyler's car is more underneath him.
Yeah, you can see Hearn
loose
a little bit coming through the end of the boot.
I mean, Nathan is a wheelman. There's no doubt about it. From his first day here up in America, racing in these racetracks that he had never seen before, up till now where he's can be considered a veteran up here. The man holds a pretty steering wheel, and he does a great with every time he comes up here. And I know that the group loves to have him drive their race cars. Chaz Howe and Dick from Howe, and with Dick's here, I love it because his wife Tanya comes around, and she's one of our favorite people. My wife Tabitha and I. So yeah, we love seeing Nathan here, and he's not going to be. He's busy in Australia. He's running his own team down there, and he's got some good drivers. I think they're really up there in the I think they might be leading the championship with one of his drivers, and so he takes a lot of what he learns up here from the chassis point of view and goes in. Yeah.
Look at how the RPMs are just pegged for
buried.
Adrian all the way through the S's, all the way down the long straightaway to the bus stop. I mean, it is just fully engaged.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about eking out every inch of every component of these race cars. Watkins Glen does that, right? It stretches the brakes.
I mean, it's only dropping like 1,000 RPMs and then going right back up.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're rev limited in a Q3 Architecture TA2 car to 6,800 RPM. That is again for.
He's hitting it, I can tell you.
Oh
that.
yeah. No, you'll use it all. You'll use every bit of it because these engines, these LS engines, will keep making power all the way past that. But then you start working towards it starts working against you on reliability. And we got to remember this. This is a foundation of this class of racing is about cost savings and cost cutting. So, and you can watch, Tyler Casera has opened a gap on the 15 car of Nathan Hearn. And we'll see if I'm going to go and check my timing and scoring here, see if he has closed the gap at all. But he did his fastest lap of the race was the last lap out. And he did that making the pass on Nathan Hearn. So if that tells you anything about Tyler Casera and where he's at in this race, it tells me an awful lot, that's for sure.
Tristan McKee, one of the things he was talking about is how he is really working on his braking and finding the limits of what to do with his braking. And that's something that's going to very much come into play going into turn 1.
100%. And that's the thing, too. He told us, in the early in the broadcast, he comes from an oval track background where the braking finesse, until you get to the short tracks, like your Martinsville and places like that, braking finesse is not necessarily a part of the game in oval track racing, but here in road racing it is super, super important. So much of your lap time is wrapped up into those braking zones. And then when it comes, like you pointed out, when it comes to a battle, you better be deep on the brakes because that's going to be the difference maker.
Man, Carson Brown is really hounding the backside of Barry Bowes here, isn't he? This fight is getting to be a really good one.
Yeah, exactly. And these are teammates. They're under the SLR camp, together.
And you've got Vostovsky and Corry right there with him. So these four.
And they're just hoping that the door gets opened up, We're seeing Barry. I'm noticing Barry closing up the entries of his corner, making it very difficult to take
more
that.
More defensive?
Yeah, more defensive, where you're not necessarily, it's not a blocking move. You're just kind of changing your approach to the corner right there.
Look at that throttle position.
He's hammered down. big on the
and
brakes.
Then look how dramatically he goes to the brake as he works his way through the boot here.
Yeah, and using up all that road again. Barry Bowes using up all the road here. Good on the brakes on the exit of the boot here. Again, he's doing an early entry so that he doesn't leave that door open, because that's usually a much later entry corner because it's such a late apex. But if you leave that door open, someone will block pass. They'll get underneath you. They'll take that apex away. And then you both are just a drag race up there to turn 10. Then through 11 here. 11's a lot of fun. You come out right up against that wall. You swear sometimes the end plate of your wing is going to catch that wall there and just
spin you around,
and snap you. But it doesn't. It gives you distance there.
Look at Corry going all the way, or Brown going all the way out and using up all that racetrack there.
Yeah, Corey's got a great run up the S's
did.
right now on Adrian Vlastowski, and if he plays this right,
that might be hard to defend.
It might be hard to defend. Although now we got so much entry speed into the bus stop.
Look at Adrian all the way to the bottom trying to take it away, and
very
Corry
difficult.
trying to come with him.
And to be clear, you're allowed to make that move. You cannot make a reactionary move to the car behind you. That is blocking. But if you want to come up the S's and go all the way down the inside,
full course caution.
Another full course. I tell you what, Tyler Casera.
I was just going to say, perfect for him, right?
He is so thrilled right now with this because he gets to restart behind Tristan for the first time today. And like I said, I think the only one that has anything for that SLR 28 Gamebridge Chevrolet of Tristan McKee is this American Concord flagpole number 10 Toyota Camry driven by Tyler Casera.
All right, let me take you back to Mid-Ohio just a couple of weeks ago. Rafa Matos, veteran, champion, legend, right behind Tristan multiple times on restarts and threw everything in his bag of tricks at him, and the kid did not blink.
And he hasn't blinked yet today.
What can Casera do here to change that?
I don't know if there is anything to change. I mean, honestly, what I've been kind of frustrated as a competitor up here calling these races is on these restarts. I haven't seen anyone tucked up on Tristan's back bumper, like glued to that back bumper when this green flag comes out. And that's what I want to see as a racer. That is your best opportunity to make a pass is on these restarts. So
is that because he's maybe playing a game with them a corner or two before getting to the main straightaway?
Possibly, but I haven't seen too many. Like I haven't seen him do any kind of accordion effect. He might be doing something very subtle in the car that's getting him those gaps, but and that would be super impressive, honestly, because he's doing it in an incredibly subtle way that I'm not able to pick it up here in the booth. But yeah, I have yet to see. Not even Rafa at Mid-Ohio was tucked right up on that bumper, almost touching him. Rattle that cage a little bit. I guess Scott did say that I think Rafa tapped him a little bit under caution, and he hit me.
Yeah.
Tristan came on the radio, and they said, no, he's just trying to rattle your cage, and after that, he was perfectly calm. So.
And once you've experienced it, now you know, and okay, I know what to do with that.
Yeah, you know what to handle it. You know not to get too riled up.
Well, we know how to handle a break, and we're going to take care of some business by doing just that. Stay with us. Coming back for the restart on Speed Sport 1.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Taking a look at Tom Sheehan's car on pit road here as they take a look at the right rear.
Looking up there, like it looks like the shock mount, or it could be the Panar bar mount, depending. But definitely something going on in the rear suspension as Trans Am technical staff is taking a look at as well.
Let's also take care of a little housekeeping here, keep you up to speed on everything that's been happening. Jim Gallagher in the 16. He is done. He is retired. Electrical is what we're hearing is the story there. And don't forget this too, Adam, as we talk about the Pro-Am category, only the best 9 races count towards the championship. So today won't impact Jared Odrick as much as it will Thomas and Nunziata as far as the championship points.
Oh, I think that's, and that's great. I didn't know that. I did not know that about the Pro-Am Championship. Makes sense to have a couple throwaways. We have Nathan Hearn coming down pit road right now, and it looks like a flat tire. Looks like maybe the right front tire is bad.
What a shame. He's been having such a great day. I wonder if it was a very slow leak, if that's how Casera was able to reel him in.
Well, that thing was a handful, as you and I both witnessed. So, again, if it was a slow leak or if he had delaminated a tire. But no, maybe the smoke was coming from...
Going to the hood
Yeah,
first.
maybe it's coming from that V8 under the hood there. That's what it looks like as they're getting up underneath. What a shame. Gosh, you stinking hate to see that.
Yeah, he was running really good. Yeah, it's definitely something in the engine.
So in the white T-shirt there, you can if they pan out, you see in a white T-shirt. That was Dick that I was talking about. Him and Chaz Howell. There's Dick there looking over. Him and Chaz Howell have been best friends, lifelong best friends. Their successes together, Howell Racing success, Howell Chassis success. They all feed off of each other. It's a great group. I've worked with them a lot. They're a lot of fun to be around. Dick is a racer. I mean, he is as purebred of a racer as you've ever met, Ralph, and his knowledge and depth of knowledge and patience with drivers that show speed. Yeah, he's just great to be around.
Yeah, that whole Howell Racing organization has been incredible.
They've won a lot of races over the years.
A lot of oval track races.
Yeah. And there's Nathan out discussing with Dick right now what he feels happened. And,
Ed Howe, the legendary patriarch of the family.
Yep.
Now Chaz's son taking over. And
then Charlie's in the wake. And, Chaz's son Charlie, he designed the HR6 that we saw at Mid-Ohio.
Yep, we expect to see more of that.
We'll see more of those out, and that's Charlie's baby and what he brought out. So that's the HR6, the sixth version of a Howell Racing chassis, and but we're seeing a great family carry on their traditions there as well. It'll be interesting to see how long this caution actually takes. Shouldn't be too big of a cleanup, I wouldn't think.
Carson Brown right there in the 8. Want to wish him a happy birthday tomorrow. He's going to be 17.
Youngin'.
Yeah,
happy
but in
birthday,
this
Carson.
field, he's an old guy.
Yeah.
When you had kids like Tristan at 14.
No, very, very cool. It's I mean, as a veteran of this series, someone that's been around a long time and seen some great talents come through here. Again, this is a treat for us. We get to see him ahead of time, and a lot of times I get people reaching out to me. What do I think of so and so and so and so that's out here? And so for me it feels good too. Like I'm able to guide these careers, give them let them know from the mistakes that I've made along the way, maybe a little bit, and kind of guide them into better successes.
For Tyler Casera, we are hearing, or I should say Nathan Hearn, we are hearing it is an oil leak that has taken the 15.
Oh, man.
What a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame. That is a shame. He had I think a pretty secure podium finish here. I know Barry Bowes would have liked to had something to say about that, but I think there's going to be a lot of attack going on behind Barry as well. I think Adrian and Carson are sitting there, chomping at the bit. Sam Corry also sitting there just buying his time. So this is going to be a heck of a battle for that last podium spot that right now Barry Bowes, our leader in Pro-Am, is third overall right now, taking that podium spot, that last podium spot, fulfilling it. But we're looking at, as far as time goes, it looks like we got, we're starting to cut close on time with 12 laps to go, with 27 minutes to go. We need to go green pretty soon here to get all the laps in it for it not to be a green race or a timed race.
Did you know that the first road race after World War II took place in October of 1948 through the streets surrounding the village of Watkins Glen?
How cool is that?
That's when and where it all started. They held 2 races. One was 4 laps. The second was 10 laps. They had 10,000 people here for the first one, and it quickly grew to 150,000 people. And after having some crashes, same exact story when you talk about Laguna Seca, Watkins Glen, how they were racing through Monterey Bay Peninsula area over by Pebble Beach through the trees, and it just got too dangerous for the drivers, for the fans standing along the roads. So it was decided, hey, we need to build a permanent venue where we can do this properly, and that's how we were given Watkins Glen International Raceway. The original circuit was 2.2 miles, and the pits and start-finish were actually between turn 1 and the Essence.
Really?
Yeah.
How interesting is that? That's cool. I love that history. I love the history of our sport. I love the history of these racetracks, and And Road America, I believe, was another one, right, where they went through the town until it was too dangerous. But I don't find it to be a coincidence that three of some arguably our best tracks that you'll visit here in America are definitely bucket list tracks. Started off as a true road race, right? Through the town. And here in Watkins Glen, you get into the town, and there's remnants, right? They have captured really and love having this racetrack here, this facility here, the races, the racers that it brings in. I've never been to a Thai restaurant that had a racing theme until I got to Watkins Glen.
There you go. I got to thank my buddy Kip and the gang down there at the International Motor Racing Research Center, which is in Watkins Glen. My son Lucas and I stopped by down there yesterday and got the grand tour and a lot of great info about the history of the Glen. All right, Eddie, what can you tell us from pit lane?
Yeah, I'm down here with Nathan Hearn, and some unfortunate issues put you guys out to race early.
Yeah, I've lost an oil line to the motor, so bit of a shame. I had a really good race car, and I just made a mistake, let Tyler pass me. I was pretty filthy myself for that one, but yeah, look, really good race car. Just need a long green run, and I reckon we had Tristan there, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Come a long way to come here this weekend and lose the oil lines, and annoying, but it's race cars. That's why we do it. A lot of things have to go right, and not very many things have to go wrong. But yeah, is what it is.
All right, thank you, Nathan.
All right, Eddie, thank you. Tough break for Nathan.
Tough break, but it shows it shows what kind of human he is too, the way he took that. Because that is anyone ever hopped on an airplane and gone to Australia? It's not like it's not just around the block. You're losing a couple days of your life to make that trip, and so for him to come up here, first of all, it shows how important this series is to globally, because we know the fans are watching down there in Australia and supporting Nathan. And but yeah, it's a shame to see.
As we look underneath Skeen's car, that's what they're looking
at.
This
is Sheheen, yeah.
Or Sheheen, I should say. I was just reading about Mike Skeen, so I'm going to get to that. That's why I had to say. Get on your timing and scoring there and tell me what lap we're on right now.
We're on lap 11, or we got 11 laps to go.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
A Team SLR car, Scott Legacy Racing, has led every lap consecutively since lap 1 at Mid-Ohio. Tristan led all 42 laps there. Skeen led all 22 at Road America. That's why I was thinking of Skeen. Yeah. And now Tristan, would you say 11?
Yeah, with 11 to go, so he's led what it is.
So that's 75 plus whatever we're on here today.
And it's an amazing accomplishment for SLR. Yeah. Scott Legacy Racing is putting in the work as well, and to get that done. And I'll tell you what, this isn't dissimilar from what we saw at Nitro last year. I think Nitro was on a similar, if not longer, streak last year, where they were just absolutely dominant. Rafa taking home the championship. So that's, again, this is what we see in our sport, is we see the kind of changing of the guard all the time, don't we? And if you follow Formula One, right, you had Ferrari dominance with Michael Schumacher that went into some Red Bull dominance, that went into some dominance with Mercedes, and now we're back to Red Bull, and now McLaren's back on top. So we see that here, right? Nitro rode the top there for a couple of years, really dominating this class of racing, and now SLR is kind of getting a little bit of payback right now.
Boy, how'd you like to be a PR person at the Red Bull Formula One team this week?
No, thank you.
Man.
I'm real happy with where I'm at, Ralph.
I'll skip that job.
Yeah, no kidding. But we got great racing here. Again, I know Tyler's just like, will you please get this thing green? I think I got something.
So what does he have? If you were him, what would you be thinking about right now? He is much closer to him than we've seen others.
He's got confidence, right? Like, Tyler is when it comes to Watkins Glen International, you're not going to find, you're going to have a hard time finding someone more confident about how to get around this place than Tyler Cassera. And so I think that's one of the biggest things. And he knows this track. And I mean, we've seen him make moves where people don't make moves around here already today.
I was just going to get to that. Lights go off on the pace car, so we're getting ready to go here. Both of them getting their tires as warmed up as they can with those Pirellis. Tristan's going to be thinking turn 1 is where he's going to attack me. If you're Cassera, do you go, nah, kid, I'm going to get you at the bus stop or somewhere else?
Maybe. I mean, he made a surprise move at the toe of the boot around the outside of, I want to say that was Barry or one of those. I can't recall. I apologize. But that outside move was epic, absolutely epic. Outside of turn 2, going up the S's, I mean, he is putting the car in places that you can only put a car that's really working well in those positions. So hats off to Nick Tucker and the whole gang over at Nitro.
Yeah, they set him up well.
Yeah, they put a car underneath him. But at the same time, he is driving, and he's tucked up underneath Tristan like I want to see. So
he sure
he
is.
needs to keep that all the way until this rack drops here underneath us, this green flag.
All right, let's see what happens with this one. Casera right there behind McKee. Bose, Brown, Vostovsky, they're all right there. Corry ready to go.
Be 10 to go when they come to the line.
Tristan McKee has led every lap so far today. Here comes the green. He gets another good start. Already a car length or two between him and Casera. Down to turn 1. Casera not close enough to do anything there. Brown way on the outside of Bose. He'll hang there in 4th for now.
A lot of oil
Bose
dry.
got wide. That could open the door for Brown. Nope, not by the time they get to the first set of the S's.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil dry down there, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. But look at the run that Carson is getting up the hill through the S's on Barry Bose. I count on Bose to stay to the right here, stay defensive, which he is.
Bose in that white and light green, seafoam green maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the damage
That's
there.
Will Robinson, it looked like, with a lot of damage on the left front.
McKee really getting hounded through the bus stop there by Casera.
I tell you, I watched Tristan, like I said, through the carousel yesterday, and I mean, he was getting through there better than anybody I saw. Now down here into the boot, watch Tyler. Tyler's getting through the boot better than anybody, and they both have their kind of strong points. But the boot right here is super, super strong for Tyler.
One of the things the crew will tell you about Tristan McKee is that he doesn't abuse any pieces and parts on the car. They said you take the transmission apart after a race and everything just looks perfect.
And that's huge. I mean, for a young driver, for one. I mean, there's veterans out there that can't do that, and you know, so that's huge because you got to bring these cars home. And if you're abusive to them, then you sit and you watch from the sidelines, and so that speaks volumes to that young driver and what he's, you know, the capabilities of him, and it takes confidence, right? He's super, super confident in what he's doing, that he's not having to overdrive the car and put himself in a point of abuse.
Leaders coming back down the front straightaway. McKee leads another one.
Leads another one. A little bit of a gap created behind Barry.
Battle for 5th going to be a good one between Sam Corry and Vostovsky.
Yeah, it sure is. And there's Will Robinson into the pits here with his damaged race car here. So he's made it around. But you can look across from the pits here, and we can see some attrition, can't we there, Ralph? I mean,
yeah, we sure can.
Been a day of attrition. It's a
there
hot
you go,
day.
right there. You see him coming down pit lane.
Well, that'll be an order into 5-star bodies for some new fenders and noses.
And there's Brown working the backside of Bose again.
And Bo's doing a great job of holding his own on these restarts, and the car's firing off pretty decent for him, so he's able to get enough of a gap to keep himself a little bit more comfortable. Tristan's got himself a gap to keep himself more comfortable on Tyler Casera.
And Adam, now you got to get those elbows way up and very sharp at the pointy end, because you've only got 17.5 minutes to make something happen. So if you're Carson Brown and you want to be on the podium, if you're Tyler Casera and you want to get the win, you got to go now to make things happen.
That's it. That's it. I mean, we're within the 10-lap mark here. This is the go time. And like I said, Tyler is getting through the boot so well. But it seems like there's another part of this racetrack that gaps, you know, and I think it's right here as we're coming up to turn 10 and turn 11 as we're on board there with Adrian Vlastowski for a moment. But that turn 10-11 complex, I believe, is Tristan's really getting through that with a great deal of speed, and that's when the gap seems to open back up between him and Tyler Casera. As they come to cross the line here this time by, we'll see what's happened to the gap. And it's he's increasing about 1/10 of a second per lap, Tristan is, but he's not running away from second place of Tyler Casera. So, you know, Tyler's still, like you said, his elbows are up.
Oh, hang on. Carson Brown all the way. I mean, there's using up the extra part of the racetrack, and there's using it all up, right? He almost used up the barrier there.
Yeah, homie's getting impatient. He's wanting to go.
He does, but look at the run he's got on Barry Bozier this time.
And he's going to have to do it the hard
Looking
way.
outside.
Same with
He's
Sam
right
Corry.
there. Oh, can he get inside in the next part? Not just yet. Boy, he is flying through there. The 16-year-old pushing Barry Bose as hard as he can. Now, Barry has a healthy points lead in the Pro-Am category coming into the weekend. Oh, here's a change. Corry getting around Vostovsky as he continues to march up through the field. And Vostovsky trying to counter here, heading down into the boot. So Barry has to be smart about this, right? If he loses a spot to Brown, that's not going to change too much of the points for him. He's still going to leave here very, very comfortable in the points with the problems to Jared earlier, right?
Yes.
So he wants to fight with Brown and maybe get on the podium, but you got to think about the overall season, too. Don't do anything stupid and end up in a barrier.
For sure, but I honestly, with Barry staring down his another podium finish for himself, he's gotten one before at Detroit the year before. He's not thinking about any championship. He's thinking, I got 3 I could throw away, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is what he's probably thinking, and you know, so I think he's going to fight tooth and nail to keep that podium. I really. Of course, like in a championship mindset, what you're saying is absolutely correct. I just don't think Barry's in that mindset right now. I think he's in, I want this podium mindset.
I'll tell you what, the drive of the day might be Sam Corry, who has gone from top 5 all the way, where was he, 21st?
Again, these two out there in the boonies, they're almost in horse heads.
Yeah, they really are. And look at the speed through the S's there, over 125 miles an hour, screaming up through those S's. But I was talking about Corry went all the way down to 21st, and now he's all the way up to 5th. That's a drive.
That's a heck of a drive, and you know, again, that kid is special too. He's one of those too. Like, he's not only showing speed on track and winning races, but we just saw him off track, right? We saw him with a microphone in his hands and how he conducts himself. You wouldn't think he's still a teenager, the way that he's handling himself, the way that he handles himself around the paddock. You know, with a lot of crappy veterans, he's right there mixing in conversation. And again, this is not his background. His background's open wheel, and you know, he's coming into these big, heavy cars. And again, another one that's putting in the work. He's at the shop every day. He lives in Cornelius. So he's just down the road from where Nitro Motorsports is at. He's at the shop every day, working with the group and the guys and gals there at Nitro Motorsports, learning as much as he can and figuring these big, heavy cars out, because he's like I said, he's already a winner. He's way ahead of schedule from where I would even place him, you know, knowing his background and where he's at and coming from and how competitive this great series is.
Carson Brown's got to get going too, because Sam Corry's closing, and he's dragging Adrian Vostovsky with him.
Exactly right. No, it's like this is all being backed up to them right here. You know, this is, as far as racetracks go, this is not the easiest place to cut and dry and get a good pass down. But I'm going to say that right now, Carson Brown's got a good run coming into turn 1.
Looking outside. Could be a crossover back inside on him. No, he's going to stay on the outside, take that lane away. Pinches him down, basically.
Way out there.
And that's going to be the move that makes it work for Carson Brown as he takes the position away, puts himself up into 3rd as they fly up through the S's.
Carson
and here
Brown.
comes Sam Corry right behind him to take his shot at Barry Bose next.
Carson Brown, how do you do? Wow. I mean, Barry was doing what he needed to do as far as kind of shutting down the inside, not looking like he was blocking, just kind of taking away that inside. And he railed the outside on him. Said, I got this. I'm going to rail that outside. I'm going to use up all that road, and I'm going to make this happen. And Carson Brown opening up a gap, too, right away. So it shows you where that speed was. Sam Corry down into the laces of the boot. His favorite spot to pass.
And he got it
right there and got him.
That puts him up to 4th now.
And
Barry gets into him.
And that is
that's frustration on Barry's part of losing 2 spots, you think?
And off of that podium, and that goes back to what you're saying. What a risk right there, because now race control's involved.
Well,
now
not only that, but he could get a tire rub out of that too.
Yeah, you got Tim Richter involved now in race control. So I see a penalty coming Barry's way. That was a very low percentage move. He had very little of his car up to the inside of him there, and he pushed off, Sam Corry. Sam's had one heck of a day, hasn't he? Now he's got to try and climb back through this field with a limited amount of laps left, with 6 laps left. But if I were Barry Bowes, I'd be hoping that I don't see Sam Corry in my mirror the rest of this race.
What a shame.
Yeah, I hate it for the youngster. He had drove, like you had just said, Ralph. You had just said what a great job he had done coming through the field. Makes this brilliant pass on Barry. And when it comes down to it, wasn't really for any kind of valuable position. It wasn't a podium spot. I think he nailed it on the head with frustration. He was losing spots.
Here's a look at it.
Back in, and he makes a very late move on a very late breaker in Sam Corry here. And that was, I'm sure he's sitting there kicking himself, after the fact, like, why did I do that? That was not a necessary move, but Sam's back on track here, and again, he did no damage, but boy, he's had to come back from a couple of hardships and hard battles.
Tristan McKee getting his first win at just a tick over 14 years of age a couple of weeks ago in Mid-Ohio. Gets his first pole in, just 10 races in his career in the Q3 Architecture TA2 Series. Gets his first pole here today, and now going for win number 2 here this afternoon. He's only got 10 more minutes to go to hang on to the front of the field.
And he has dropped the hammer. He has absolutely dropped the hammer on this last restart. And
look at the lap times, down to a 1:51.748.
Yeah, he's walked away from it. His last lap was a full second faster than Tyler Casera.
Pole was a minute 49 or something like that, wasn't it?
Exactly right. It was a 49 flat by Tristan McKee, which I find to just be absolutely amazing for a Q3 Architecture TA2 Series car around this place. But Barry's car's come back to life here as he's trying to chase down Carson Brown, but he's got number 3 of Adrian Vlastowski right behind him, the New York boy, doing his duty. Adrian's had pace all weekend long. Love racing with Adrian. He's one of those you can certainly trust. He's not going to do anything crazy on you. Great side-by-side racing with him over the years.
Sam Corry only dropped down to 8th. Behind Vostowski, he's got DaCosta, Buffamante, and then him. He's right in this line as you look back up the front straightaway. So he might get a shot to get back up here and gain a spot or 2 back.
Oh, I think so. And again, shout out to, and I don't think we mentioned him all race long, but Julian DaCosta has just kept his nose clean.
Yep.
Through a very, eventful race, and he's pushing there in P6 right in front of Jean Buffamante, who had that one off, but is no worse for wear there. But he's got his troubles behind him with Sam Corry with some speed behind him, as Barry Bowes has some troubles working behind him. That Adrian Vlastowski's got some speed at the end of this race, and he wants around this 27 car.
Yeah, DaCosta right behind Vostowski. You just see him there come through the frame. Julian out of Mayaca City, Florida, Nitro Motorsports Toyota Camry.
Beautiful livery, right? We've been bragging about that livery.
That
and now he's got the driving suit to match everything. He looks like Ivan Ironman Stewart out there.
Very simple and very clean. Vostowski in the white and red number 3.
And the 27 being very defensive. We were told in the drivers' meetings that you will get a warning on that, but after that warning, it's game on. So it's one thing being defensive, it's one thing blocking. So you need to be defensive. You have to make the move before.
Adrian inside.
Adrian's looking.
No, just can't get there.
No.
On board with Adrian now, as you look for a way around Barry Bowes just in front of you.
Yeah, he's got the CMI Ford Mustangs working well. This race team does a great job.
Bowes gets a good drive off the corners, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, that's been kind of like really kind of a trait of those M1 chassis that from Scott Legacy Racing is they have great drive off. They always have. So we're seeing that. We're seeing Barry make good use of that as well. We have Sam Corry here.
Right there.
Yep.
In the black number 70.
Couple teenagers going at it.
John gets a little bit wider. Does that help out Sam? Oh boy, you got right there going. That's a smart move by Sam, knowing that if he stuck that nose up in there, it could have gone really bad for both of them.
Oh, look at Adrian on the outside of Barry Bowes, up the S's and clears him. What a drive, Adrian Vlastowski.
And Sam Corry making a move on the inside, headed into the bus stop, and he got it done.
Good job. What great racing.
Corry is now up to 7th with 6.5 minutes to go.
Great racing. You see the gap that Adrian's pulling already on this, and on Barry Bowes there. As Barry's going to be under attack here by Julian Costa here real soon. And then that's going to bring that battle. That'll slow them up and bring Sam right into the battle of that right there. So maybe Sam will be able to rebound. But like I said, I doubt Barry Bowes wants to see that black Stilo Toyota Camry in his mirror after what just happened. I don't feel Sam is that racer. You know, open wheel racers tend to forget that they have fenders and race like they got clean. You know, like they need to stay clean, which I respect in a huge way. But anyway, that'll be working on Barry's mind. Is this guy going to pay me back, or what do I got coming? But
that's not a giant fly in your screen, by the way. That's our drone.
That's good, because I'm sure there's maybe some pets at home swatting at that thing.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Tristan McKee across the line.
Class of the field, Tristan McKee. And really, I mean, you go ahead and put Tyler Castera in that mix as well, because both of these two, no one's running anywhere near the lap times that they're running this late in the race. And they're just kind of taking off from the rest of the field. What a great run by Carson Brown, and then Adrian Vlastowski there, finishing or looking in fourth place right now, and he's hating that gap has that far stretched to Carson Brown, because I think the pace that Adrian has right now is one of the stronger out there on the course, and he definitely has some pace on Carson Brown. So it'll be interesting to see if he can close that gap at all and make that a race for the podium right here at the end. And those might remember that Adrian got his first podium at Laguna this year. Unfortunately, with the contact that he had made with Brent Cruz, a post-race penalty had removed him from that. But on track, that was a pure podium that he got there. With that being taken away. However, today, with a clean race, and if he can get up to Carson Brown, he could have his first true podium right here. He's had a great clean day, and a great day for that CMI group, Ford Mustang, and the Fast group over there. Because as you look down the list here, they also have Doug Winston in the Pro-Am, and he's sitting fourth in Pro-Am. So this would be two top 5 finishes for that camp in their respective classes in the national. But I'm continuing to watch Adrian close this gap on Carson Brown.
What a day for the Scott Legacy Racing team. They might have 2 cars up on the podium here today with McKee and Carson Brown as well. And just hearing from our old friend Scott Legacy Sr., this is their 10th TA2, and they've been all in and devoted to the series in every way, developing young drivers, helping the series with the rules to help keep cost control, benefit for the competitors, even helping to provide the series to have live TV several years back. So Scott Legacy Racing, from Scott Sr. to Jr., who's all in charge of it now, has been a big part of getting this Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series off the ground and as successful as it is.
Oh, big time. And Scott was behind the wheel for quite some time of these Cube 3 Architecture TA2 cars, and took a really vicious crash at Virginia International Raceway. And I don't believe that's what got him out of the seat. Honestly, what's got him out of the seat is he's finding joy in bringing up these young talented kids. And you see it in his face when you have this conversation, especially when you bring up this Tristan McKee. His face lights up like it used to with Connor Mosack when he was working with Connor Mosack and developing him and his abilities. So yeah, he's been great for the sport. The Lagers have really been great for our sport.
White flag is out, working that final trip down through the boot. Tristan McKee having led every lap here today. How many laps are we on now?
I believe this was we got 1 lap to go, so I think it was a 30-lap race, wasn't it?
30 is what it's going to be?
I thought it was 25 or 30-lap race.
All right, well, let's go with your 30 just because it sounds good. So that's 42 laps at Mid-Ohio, 22 laps at Road America, and 30 here. That's 94 laps. Oh,
can't catch a break with his teammate there, Julian, on the outside of him. Julian gives him a door and moves him off track. I mean,
he has had an up-and-down day, hasn't he? Here he comes for the win here at Watkins Glen. The Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli at the Glen goes to Tristan McKee, his second win of the 2025 championship season, and he will sweep the day with the pole and now the win. And Barry Bowes will come across the line as the winner in the Pro-Am category and 5th overall. Casera gets second. Brown gets third the day before his 17th birthday. And Adrian Vostovsky with another fine run in 4th. And Sam Corry ends up 9th.
And Adrian, just so everyone knows, Adrian had closed 4 seconds of that gap up as Sam Corry just crosses the line and brings his day to an end. Like, calls no joy. I mean, poor kid has been hung around like nobody else today. But this young man, Tristan McKee, with his hand out the window, you've earned every bit of that on this hot Saturday here at Watkins Glen International. Great job in the Gainbridge, HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet Camaro for SLR. Great job. Tyler Casera, can't say enough about him in the Concord American flag pole. Number 10 Toyota Camry for Nitro Motorsports, bringing that one home in a podium spot. I was so hoping that he was going to get the chance in one of these cars for this weekend, because this is, like I said, this is his track. Like whenever you think of Tyler Casera, you think of Watkins Glen International for sure. And like you said, Carson Brown rounding out that podium. Great job, young man.
Sam Corry started 7th, got up to the top 5, went all the way down to 21st, battled all the way back up to the top 5, ends up 9th.
And 9th. And honestly, and I think some of that may come back to him. Again, like I said, there was a couple drivers that put that in Tim Richter's hands.
Yeah.
Tim Richter has shown consistency with those calls, with avoidable contact. So we'll see what happens post-race with this one.
But that's not how you want to get it, right?
That's
you don't
not
want
how
to
you
be
want
handed
it.
to.
No.
You want to come across
No.
the line
Absolutely.
having earned the position.
Absolutely. But, I mean, Sam can sit there, and even if it's like a gift to him at the end with that, it's not really a gift, right? Because he would have had those positions anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's still a punishment, because there was people that he was behind that made no contact with. He raced clean, like a John Buffamante was clean racing out there. So Keith Prochek pulling out a P11 overall, and I believe that puts him would have been P3, rounding out the podium in Pro-Am. So great job, Keith Prochek.
Magic Tudovic started this race in, look here, I want to say 22nd or 23rd, and ends up, he started 23rd, and he ends up 14th. So some of that due to attrition, some of that due to smart racing. And here's our winner pulling into victory lane. Don't need the door anymore.
Yeah, this young man has got a bright future ahead of him. It's only getting started, and we should feel privileged that we get to kind of witness this at this point, witness what he's doing. And
you wonder what we'll be saying about him in the future, right? Will you be calling him a Daytona 500 winner? Will you be calling him an Indianapolis 500 winner, or both? I mean,
I think by the end of this year, we'll be calling him champion.
Yeah, he's
by the way it's
pushing
going.
hard for that.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, again, wise beyond his years.
Congratulations, Tristan.
You don't realize he's that young of a man until he steps out of the car. The way that he drives and handles himself out there on the racetrack is definitely beyond those years. And Nick Middleton of Q3 Architecture right there.
All right, Eddie, take it away.
Here with Tristan McKee, our race winner, dominated start to finish. Just how do you feel standing here in victory lane?
Yeah, it feels good. We were pretty much the dominant car all weekend, so it feels good to really execute in the race. Overcame a few challenges, a few different cars behind me. There was some oil dry on the track that was kind of slick. So just thanks to all my guys. They brought a really fast car. It was lights out all weekend. So thanks to Alan, Ryan, all the SLR guys, Spire, Gainbridge, Jeff Dickerson, and Josh Wise and Scott Speed for prepping me to get here and be as fast as we were when we unloaded. So thank you.
And SLR have led 94 consecutive laps across 3 races. Just how cool is it to be on such a dominant team like the one you're on?
Yeah, it feels really good. We led all the laps in Ohio with me and then all of them here, so it feels really good. So thank you to them.
All right, thank you so much, Tristan.
Eddie, of those 94 laps, Tristan has led 72.
That's pretty impressive.
Isn't that impressive?
Well, in all fairness, Mike Skeen doesn't get to lead a lot of laps because, that's to get 100 miles in around Road America, you don't have to do a lot of laps. Such a big track. You look at, I think, 25 laps, so 5 less laps here. Mid-Ohio is a lot of laps, like 40 or 45.
Right. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from today. Tristan McKee and a nice defensive line going into turn number 1, and that was pretty much it for him. He just found his rhythm, stayed with it. A couple of full course cautions, but nobody could do anything. John Buffamonte gets wide here.
Great save. Great save. No
Really
damage.
good save.
Tyler
Sarah,
Kucera.
man, in that 10, he looked like he was going to be one to deal with today. And Hearn in the 15 there. Nathan Hearn out of Australia. Oil leak for him, unfortunately. About halfway through the day. Problems for the 39 as well of Bob Accardo out of Livermore, California. Problems for Will Robinson, 51. And look at Brown using up all the racetrack here. Bose getting loose just in front of him. And contact between Bose and Corry. Teammates will talk about that. And Brown way out there. But able to get back in time.
This one, right? I just gutted for Sam on this.
Getting together with Julian DaCosta. And in the end, young Tristan McKee, 14 years of age, takes his second win. Let's go down to the podium. Here's Eddie.
And to kick it off, he was top 5 in Sonoma. He's on the podium here. Number 8, Carson Brown. And standing in second place, driving the number 10 car. Give it up for Tyler Kucera. And then our race winner at only 14 years of age, qualified on pole, dominated from start to finish, Tristan McKee.
Huge thank you to the winners here. Congratulations. But I also want to give a warm welcome to my wife that's going to be watching right now. It's my anniversary. Allow me to come today. So that's a big one for me. But congratulations to Tristan, Tyler, and Carson. Awesome job. And thank you for all the fans that have come out here today. And all the Make-A-Wish kids. I'm not sure they're in the paddock right now. Congratulations to everybody.
Interviewers, we're going to start over here with Carson. A great result today for you. How does it feel to stand on the podium?
Yeah, it feels really good to stand on my first podium. In my third race, just a big thank you to Scott Lagacy, the whole group, Hay Cafe, Ebb Logistics, Sunoco Race Fuels, just everybody that helps get me here.
All right, and then heading over to Tyler, P2. How are you feeling just to stand here, second place here at a track like Watkins Glen?
Yeah, it's my home track, my favorite track. I don't get to drive race cars very often, and mostly I'm coaching the Nitro guys. So to be up here and be able to close it out for the team is great. Thanks to my family and everybody that supports me. Nitro Motorsports, got Concord American Flagpole Company on the car for today. And yeah, thanks to everybody, Trans Am and everyone else that helps put this on.
And then only your second start of the season. Just wondering, how does it feel to be able to adapt to getting back in the car so quick and be able to get up to P2 here?
Yeah, I mean, I attribute a lot of it to, like, again, coaching these guys. I watch video all day long when I'm here. So even though I'm not doing the job in the car, I still feel like I'm doing it and trying to feel what they're feeling. So I was able to get in and Road America last week and was pretty quick. And I think our qualifying both times was not indicative of where we should have been. But I do think our finish, you know, I had nothing here for Tristan. He was super fast. So to him, and again, thanks to Nitro Motorsports.
All right, thank you so much, Tyler. And then here to Tristan McKee, our race winner. Tristan, what was the key to just keeping it smooth throughout the course of that entire race, especially having to defend on all those restarts?
Yeah, we just built a little bit of a gap on each restart and just kind of maintained and saved my tires a little bit. You know, I know a lot of people were having tire issues in practice and stuff, so we were all kind of worried about that a little bit. So once I got out to a little bit of a lead, I would just kind of back it down and easy on the brakes, easy on the tires, stuff like that. So it was definitely a really good race. You know, we dominated the whole thing. So thanks to Scott Lagsy Racing, all those guys, Spire, Gainbridge, Jeff Dickerson, Josh Wise, and Scott Speed for preparing me to be so fast when we got here and being so comfortable as soon as we unloaded. So thank you to all of them.
And then still sitting on top of the point standings, getting to expand your lead. How much confidence do you now have heading into the back half in these final few rounds of the season?
Yeah, definitely some of these last few races is tracks that I've been to a lot and raced that last year, so I'm feeling really good. We have 2 new tracks, Canada and Barber, but other than that, I have VIR encoded down, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you so much, Tristan. Our winner at Watkins Glen, Tristan McKee.
This is the coolest person of the race. We've got $250, $150, and $500 certificates from Coolbox. All right, we'll switch this down. That would be great. All right, good. All right, one more. All right, dividing down the trophies here real quick.
I just got enough battery.
Give one more hand for our national podium finishers. And next up, we will celebrate our podium for the Pro-Am class. Some fantastic drivers here. And kicking off our podium celebration, finishing in third place in Pro-Am, number 9, Keith Prochak. In second place in Pro 61, Roberto Sabato. And he was your Pro-Am winner at Road America, and he is your Pro-Am winner here again at Watkins Glen, Barry Bose. And over here with Keith, P3 in the Pro-Am class. How was it out there?
It was pretty good. Just had a little bit of early contact, but overall pretty clean race, and great job, Barry. Basically class of the field today.
Thank you so much, Keith. Now heading over Roberto Sabato in second place in Pro-Am. You have a big smile on your face standing up here.
It's a good day. You know, I have to thank my team, and they did an incredible job, very awesome job, and thank you, Trans Am and Q3. It's been a long time coming. Really love it. Thank you.
And your Pro-Am winner, Barry Bowes. How does it feel to take yet another win here in Pro-Am?
You know, it's absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about my team. First time through the carousel, right? My teammate, 14 years old, was 15 mile an hour faster than me, showed me what I needed to do, right? And I was really able to up my game because of those guys. Super appreciate them. With a multi-class racing out here, unfortunately, about 5 laps before the end, most of the race was very clean. About 5 laps before the end, Sam Corry made an amazing move, got under me in turn 5. We got into each other in 6, and he ended up going off track. I feel horrible about that. I just wanted to tuck in behind him and run. We're not even in the same class. But it feels fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. You know, not everyone realizes, but we have 3 drops. And so when you look at the point standings, you also have to take the drops into account. And right up until now, you know, they're saying that I'm the points leader, but Keith may still be and has been the actual points leader after drops because he's got the most. He's got the most first place. Maybe now. So like we are neck and neck going into this thing, and it's going to be interesting. You know, Audric is right there too, so it's going to be interesting into the season.
All right, thank you so much, Barry. Congratulations to all 3 of you guys. Give a hand for our Pro-Am podium. And let's get loud for our TA2 Pro-Am podium. Throwing some souvenirs into the crowd. A fantastic afternoon out here for racing at Watkins Glen. We have one more honor to give out here. A watch from our partners at Legato for the fastest lap of the race, and it goes to Tristan McKee. Congratulations, Tristan. Let's give one more hand for our TA2 podium finishers.
All right, wrapping up all the podium activities. Thank you, Eddie. We've got a little bit more coming your way here from Watkins Glen as our live coverage continues. They've got to clean up the podium area now, dry it all up from all the champagne being sprayed around. And don't forget, coming up a little bit later today, right here on Speed Sport 1, we're going to be taking you live to Dorado Raceway in Hebron, Ohio for the IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series Top Fuel Final. So stay right here on Speed Sport 1. And then back here tomorrow at the Glen for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. All of that great action from here at the Glen tomorrow at the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli will kick off live on Speed Sport 1 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So put that on your calendar and we'll see you then. Enjoy the drag racing tonight. Join us back here again for Trans Am tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. For Eddie Fuhrer and Adam Andretti, I'm Ralph Sheheen. Congratulations, Tristan McKee, on win number 2. So long for now from the Glen.
When you're running out of luck, need to get unstuck, so cough. When you're up against the wall and you cannot fall, so cough.